Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining the EPA's Landfill and Methane Outreach Program for today's webinar. Before we get started with today's webinar, let's go over a few housekeeping items. So all attendees are in listen-only mode. You can, however, type a question at any time into the questions box at the bottom of your GoToWebinar menu bar. We'll review these questions at the end of the webinar and answer any as we have time. And also, if you have a technical issue during the webinar, you can also contact us in the questions box as well, and we'll help you out as much as we can. And now I'm going to pass it over to Lauren Apley.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Hope to not take up too much of your time, but I want to go over some important updates and information about partner reporting. So here's the agenda. I'm planning to cover a quick recap of 2018 partner reporting. Then we'll review the roles and process for partner reporting in the e-GGRT system. We'll go over a timeline for this coming year, and I will remind you of some of the ways you can prepare for partner reporting. A quick note, I plan to email the slides to all the participants in the next few days, and then the recording of this webinar will be available on our website as soon as we can get it published on there. So in 2018, we did our first year of data collection from partners using the EPA's e-GGRT system. So in the past, some of you may remember that LMOP collected data using Excel sheets, which we emailed directly to partners. So this new LMOP module in e-GGRT streamlines our data collection process and uses a system that many landfill partners are already using when they report data to the Greenhouse Gas Reporting Program. And last year, I think we were very successful. We had 95 partners participate in data reporting. Those partners either verified or updated data for 390 projects and an additional 58 landfills. You can now see all of these data updates reflected in the LMOP database files that are available on our website, or you can take a look at these project updates in our interactive national map that is accessible on the bottom of the LMOP homepage. And that homepage is epa.gov/LMOP. So here's a quick look at the many projects and landfills and candidate landfills across the country that we received updates from our LMOP partners. We really appreciate all of your time and input that you put into helping keep our database updated. And here is the list of the 95 partners who we are extremely grateful to that participated in the LMOP partner reporting last year. As I said, I know it was a change from how we've done things in the past, and I appreciate your time and your effort, sticking with us and getting the information that we're asking for and we're looking for our LMOP database. So once again, we really appreciate all of your participation. And to further highlight all of our partners' participation and recognize your efforts, we've prepared a recognition file that is now available on our website. You should have seen we sent out a listserv email last week about this. This file contains a slide for each participating partner that shows your involvement in LMOP and what projects you had operating in 2018. So like I said, this whole file is available on our website, but if you're looking to print this out, or if you'd like a high-resolution version of your file, you could contact us directly, and we can send you that higher resolution copy. And then along those lines, we're interested to hear from you any feedback you have or ideas you have about other ways that LMOP could recognize you all, recognize your accomplishments as our partners or recognize your participation. So, please send me an email or give us some feedback after this webinar. That would be great, and we can see what else we can do to recognize the great work you're doing and really tell the story of the energy projects you guys are doing out there. And just a quick reminder about where all of this data goes that you're putting into the e-GGRT system. So the LMOP Landfill and Landfill Gas Energy Project Database, or by its shorter name, the LMOP database, tracks information for over 2,600 MSW landfills, and about 600 operational projects. The LMOP database is a key resource for other offices at the EPA, for the landfill gas industry, and for the general public. And your participation in this partner reporting improves the quality of the LMOP database. So again, thank you so much for your continued participation. And then related to that, you may not be familiar with where the data from the LMOP database comes from. The first one, which you're familiar with now, is from the LMOP Partners. That's what we're here to talk about. Getting the information directly from the source, which is you all, the partners who are involved in these projects, is the most accurate and timely method to get data for our database. LMOP has the authority to collect this information from our partners through our LMOP Information Collection Request Approval, the details of which you can see on this slide if you're interested in reading that. Another data source that we use for the LMOP database is the data which is reported annually to the Greenhouse Gas Reporting Program. Many of the landfills are required to report this data annually, and we import that data from Greenhouse Gas Reporting Program into the LMOP database. But this doesn't cover every landfill in the United States. It only covers those landfills that are required to report. So we get some good data on the landfills from that program, but not all of them. And then our last data source is we try and fill in any updates that we can find from publicly available data such as news articles or presentations and organization websites. At LMOP, we want to most accurately show the work you're doing in reducing landfill emissions and creating renewable energy. So please help us out by participating in the LMOP Partner reporting this year, or if it's in between those reporting periods, you can always contact us by email or phone and tell us your updates. All right, so that covers our quick recap of reporting from 2018 and some information about the LMOP database. Next, I'll do a quick review of the LMOP Partner reporting roles and process. So I won't go into too much detail about the LMOP module and e-GGRT and how that works, because we have some existing resources already available for you on our website. And this includes recordings of webinars that we did last year, and there's also a user guide available for the e-GGRT module, which has step-by-step instructions on how to get logged in and how to enter in your data. So I just wanted to cover the roles for partner reporting. This can be sometimes confusing, but these are the main roles from your organization. So the primary partner is the organization that is designated to report data for a specific landfill gas energy project. And we do this because there could be many LMOP partners involved in one project. So to cut down on duplicate reporting, we have selected just one partner that is in charge of providing the data updates for that project. Next is the LMOP data reporter. So this is the point of contact in the partner organization that will do the majority of the LMOP partner reporting. This is the person that will get access to the LMOP module in e-GGRT, and they will be the one reviewing and editing the data. On Monday this week, I emailed all of the partners involved in LMOP reporting, and in that email was listed who your LMOP data reporter is. So if you did not get this email and you think you should have, please send me an email or give me a call, and I can figure out what we're missing there. And then also, if you find that the person I listed as your LMOP data reporter is not the right person for that role, you can change it to whoever you need to. You may change it from someone that's the main point of contact for LMOP. That may not be the right person that does the data crunching or has the information available to them, so you could designate someone else for that role. And then lastly, the other role you'll hear is a delegate. So the LMOP data reporter, once they are in the e-GGRT system, they have the ability to add delegates. So these are additional people who are given access to the e-GGRT system so that they can also provide updates on landfills and projects. And this might be very helpful for you if you're a partner organization that has a lot of projects to review and you want to, kind of share that workload with someone else. You can add a delegate, and you can add as many delegates as you want to the system. All right, and then a quick reminder about how the e-GGRT module works. So You will log in with your e-GGRT account, and then you would see on the homepage the projects and landfills assigned to you. These projects will be loaded with information from the most recent version of the LMOP database. So you'll see all of the data that we have already filled in. And then all you would be doing is reviewing that data and adding in any additional information or making edits as needed. So if you participated last year, it's likely to be very few changes. Some of the things that might need updating that you could think about are the gas flow volumes, whether that's the amount being flared or the amount going to the project, perhaps updating the waste in place at the landfill, or if there's other organizations that have become involved in the project, things like that. And then again, like last year, if the landfill also reports to the Greenhouse Gas Reporting Program, Subpart HH, we will not be asking for that same landfill information again. So you'll see that those data fields are grayed out and you don't have to edit anything in there because, like I mentioned before, we're getting that data straight from the Greenhouse Gas Reporting Program. All right, and then some frequent questions and lessons learned that I've kind of compiled from last year's, first take at this electronic reporting. One thing, just as a reminder, is please review the data even if you know your project is shut down. We may not know that it's shut down, so that could be our first issue there. But then if we do know that it's shut down, we may still be missing a few key data points about, what date did it shut down or why, and are you planning a follow-on project? So we would still appreciate your time to look at those projects if they're shut down and help us to kind of close out the story on those projects. The second item I have here is that please review the data even if you don't have a project. So we're asking all LMOP partners that are involved in projects and then those that could potentially be involved in projects. So you might just be a landfill owner right now that is at the early stages of its life and you don't have plans for a project right now, but we're still very interested in your inputs. We would love to hear whether you have considered a project, if you've taken any steps towards project development, if you have any ideas about who the end user could be. And then additionally, we'd love to have you review the data about the landfill as well. So even though you may not have a project yet, LMOP would still love to hear from you in this data collection effort. And then my third bullet here, what if you don't have all the information? Well, we had a few people ask us this last year, and you can put in as much information as you have or as much information as you know. I know that the e-GGRT module itself has certain data warnings built in, so you'll see some of the cells will turn red if there's an empty field, but that isn't going to stop you from moving on and submitting the data. It's just there to kind of remind you, hey, this field is blank. Did you intend it to be there? So you can put in as much information as you know, and you can always save your edits and then come back later if you do find out more information later on. And then lastly, what if you don't have any changes to make to the project or landfill data? Well, we would still love to know that everything there is correct. So when you log into the e-GGRT module, you review the data, and you see that there's no changes to be made. If you keep scrolling all the way to the bottom and you hit next, it'll take you to the confirm your changes page. And if you have no changes, it should ask you to confirm that this is correct by clicking save and exit. And so that will let us know that you, the LMOP partner, reviewed all the data and confirmed that it's still correct. So that would be just as helpful to us as someone that had changes to make to the information. And that's all I have on the module itself. So my last topic to cover today will be the timeline for reporting this year and some things you can do to get prepared for reporting. So we're planning to open partner reporting in October, much like we did last year. We don't have a final date yet, but it will hopefully be sometime in the month of October. Between now and then, you can expect to see emails from me in early September to remind you which projects you're assigned and to confirm who's assigned as the LMOP data reporter. Later on in September, I'll plan to contact you to let you know the official start date of the reporting so you can get prepared and get your coffee ready for that first day of reporting, because I know you'll all be so excited. And then lastly, once we have the module open, we'll plan to keep it open for at least 2 months, so at least through the end of November. So you'll have plenty of time to get your updates in and make any edits if you need to. All right, and what can you do now to prepare for reporting? A few things. I've already mentioned this a few times, but confirm who is the correct person to be the LMOP data reporter. So I emailed all the reporting partners on Monday, so that email has listed who your LMOP data reporter is. And please, reply back to me if that needs to be changed. I know I've already gotten a few replies back, so we'll make those changes soon. And reach out to me if you're listening to this webinar and you're wondering why you haven't been emailed yet, because I could clear that up for you. Second, if you have used the e-GGRT system before, a good practice is to find your login information if you need to, and make sure your username and password is still up to date. You can reset your password ahead of time to make it easier to get into the LMOP module once we have it open. From that e-GGRT homepage, you can hit the password reset button, or if you're still having trouble there, you can contact ghgreporting@epa.gov for help, and they will help get your account unlocked. Another reminder to do before reporting, if necessary, is to gather any of the data you might need for updates on the landfill or project. So maybe if you have to call, the landfill to get a couple numbers, that would be helpful, like the waste in place or landfill gas flows. That would make your review quicker. And then lastly, just keep an eye out for emails from me. The main address I use is aepli.lauren@epa.gov, but we also are checking emails from the LMOP account, which is lmop@epa.gov. All right, and then as we're going through this, whether right now you have a question or once reporting has started, please don't hesitate to email or call me. I'd be glad to help you out. We also have a web page on the LMOP website with all the information on partner reporting. That URL is on the slide there. And then I mentioned the GHG reporting at EPA.gov. They can help with e-GGRT issues, like you can't log in, your password needs to be reset, that type of thing. You can contact them. And then lastly, once you're in the LMOP module, on the left-hand side, there's a sidebar that has a link to some help content, and then there's a contact us link too. And I think I have a picture of that here. Yep. So that shows you where those links are for the help information and the contact information once you're in the system. All right, well, that was all I had to cover today, but I'd love to hear any questions you all might have. So if you have any questions, just go ahead and type them in to the question box, and I think I'll just mute us for a second here to let you type in some questions if you have any. Okay, so it looks like we have one question. I'll have Crystal read that for me.
Sure. So the question we have is, the Midwest seems underreported based on the map early in the presentation. Does that map include e-GGRT reporters as well as voluntary reporters?
So those were just the data points that we received from LMOP Partners last year. So if you're asking about whether it included the landfills that were required to report through the Greenhouse Gas Reporting Program, it did not include those updates, because that's a separate collection effort than our data collection. But it could also be kind of skewed if there's less projects out in that region, or if we have less partners in that region. I'm not really sure if we have a regional skew to our partnership, but yeah, that was all the people that participated in the LMOP data collection last year.
That was like a second question.
Okay.
Came in. How would I know that the change of data reporter was completed?
Ooh, I will email you back shortly, or you can always ask me if it got through, and then I'll be planning to mainly be emailing that LMOP data reporter, so as not to fill everybody else's inbox with this information about project reporting. So you can always give me a call if you're unsure if that change went through. Okay. Well, that seems to be all the questions we've got.
Oh, wait.
One more, okay.
All right. I was recently added as a data reporter. I should expect an email from you shortly.
That's right, yes. I'll send you all an email. Yeah, I know I have a few in my inbox right now from when I emailed people Monday that are asking me to change who their data reporter is, so I'll be following back up with you all shortly. Okay, great. So again, there's my contact information. Let me know if you have any questions or if you think something's missing or you don't understand. And like I said, I will be sending out the slides in the next couple days, so you could always follow up with any questions to that email.